Imagine earning $100,000 a year. This is a salary that most people around the world think is a lot of money. The truth is, many people in America who make $100,000 a year are still worried about money. Some people even have to live paycheck to paycheck. So we need to ask, where is all the money going? For a time, making $100,000 a year was like a dream come true. If you made this money, you were supposed to be able to afford a nice home, a good car, and save some money for the future. Things have changed. Nowadays, many Americans who make $100,000 a year are still struggling to make ends meet. To understand why, we need to look at how much things cost in America today. The biggest expense for Americans is housing. In cities, rent or mortgage payments can be very high, often over $3,000 a month. And that is not all. There are also property taxes, home insurance, maintenance costs, and utilities to pay. When you add all these costs together, housing can take up a part of your income. Another thing to consider is taxes. When someone says they make $100,000 a year, that is before taxes are taken out. In America, people have to pay income tax, and in some states they also pay state income tax. On top of that, there are Social Security and Medicare taxes. After all, these taxes are taken out. $100,000 a year might actually be like $70,000. That is not as much money as it sounds. Healthcare is also an expense in America. Even people who have health insurance have to pay a lot of money for healthcare. They have to pay premiums, deductibles, and co-payments. If someone goes to the hospital, it can cost thousands of dollars. For families, healthcare costs can add up to thousands of dollars every year. Transportation is another expense in America. Because America is a country with not many public transportation options, many people have to own a car. That means they have to pay for car payments, insurance, fuel, and maintenance. These costs can add up to hundreds of dollars every month. Over a year, transportation can cost over $10,000. Many Americans also have debt. They may have student loans, credit card debt, car loans, and personal loans. All these debts require payments. A few $100s a month can add up quickly. When you consider housing, healthcare, transportation, and debt payments, $100,000 a year can start to seem like not money. There is also something called lifestyle inflation. When people make money, they often spend more money too. They might move to an apartment, buy a newer car, and travel more. Over time, their expenses grow alongside their income. That means the extra money they make often gets spent on an expensive lifestyle. When you look at housing costs, taxes, healthcare, transportation, debt payments, and lifestyle inflation, it is easier to understand why many Americans who make $100,000 a year are still worried about money. The problem is not always how money someone makes. Sometimes the problem is all the expenses that come with making that money. Understanding where your money goes is a step to being good with money. It is not about making more money, it is also about understanding how money works. Sometimes the biggest problem is not how money you make, but how much you spend. If you like learning about money and how it works, you might want to keep watching this channel. In the videos, we will keep talking about money and the things that affect it that most people do not notice.